Quit dialing me.
All right, folks who are listening to the podcast, we are getting ready to go live on YouTube. We are back after an awesome WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and now we are back with a new episode of Suds News. And
Mm-hmm.
we're almost live on YouTube here, and we go here. And we are sharing it, and we are all set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News. We are back after a fantastic weekend, at least for me, in Philadelphia at WrestleMania 40 and the surrounding events. Went to 6 total wrestling events within the 5 days that I was there. And I couldn't have picked a better WrestleMania to go to for my first and probably only. But it was a bucket list item and just absolutely fantastic. As always, welcome to Suds and Squared Circle presents Suds News. I am Vinnie. This is Christy. Christy, how are you today?
I'm all right. It's another nap day for me, Vinny. We just talked about this. Sunday and Mondays are like my nap days. Today was definitely a nap before the podcast. I know you've been at it since 7, so it's been a long day for us. But I am ready to talk about some GH and share my thoughts and yeah, we'll just have fun talking about that. My roommates are actually in the other room right now watching wrestling, so if you hear any "let's go," that's my roommate.
Well, as always, I will catch up on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. I am working on actually finding a co-host in regards to watching and doing a full consistent Squared Circle news. So I'm working on that. But either way,
I
that'll
can
be
hear Cody in the other room. So
well, yes,
that's going on.
if you follow me on my socials, at Vinnie Suds on Twix as well. Well, actually, I also did actually posted them to the Suds SQ Circle Pod Twix account. But I did a daily check-in while I was in Philadelphia. Um, I did have to wait a couple days till my voice came back, especially Monday.
Oh
Um,
wow, that must
the
have been exciting.
Sunday night, night 2 of WrestleMania. Um, I lost my voice cheering on Cody Rhodes. And
Mm.
hey, Chad, welcome to the chat. Just say it's been a minute or two. Vinny, I know you loved WrestleMania. Cody, yes.
Nice
Cody
job.
Rhodes is your new world heavyweight undisputed WWE champion. They apparently are dropping Universal from that title. But he did finally beat Roman Reigns. He finished his story, jam-packed main event match with the Undertaker showing up. That was definitely unexpected. The Rock obviously was going to be there. We knew that. John Cena was involved. Jay and Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa. Um, but ultimately, it was a fantastic WrestleMania, highlighted by the Hall of Fame ceremony the Friday night before that was shown on Peacock after SmackDown. Um, I do feel that WWE has to change that up a little bit, do it on a Thursday night or give it its own time because having first of all, it's very tough to keep the audience engaged. Hey Nathan, welcome to the chat.
Mm.
It's very
Hey,
hard to
good.
keep the audience engaged after a 2 hour wrestling event. And you don't have people that are there specifically for the Hall of Fame. Like I'm the kind of person where when it comes to the Hall of Fame, you're not in kayfabe mode. You're not part of it's not part of the show. It's more along the lines of people talking about real life stuff, how they got into the business, how their career went, and so on and so forth, how they cared about the people that were there, and part of their life and who they're inducting. So, there were a lot of people who were very, very disrespectful. Now, of course, it's Philadelphia, so it's the home of ECW. So the fans are generally disrespectful in Philadelphia. I mean, it's like completely opposite of the way everything is. Um, Especially because, like, for example, WrestleMania Night 1, the opening matchup, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Rhea's fantastic, but she's a heel. Becky Lynch is a babyface. And Becky got booed by the entire building at Lincoln Financial Field. So it's just insane. But everybody did pop and everybody went wild when Cody Rhodes finished the story and won the WWE Undisputed Championship in a fantastic match from the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Let's see. What else did I do while I was on? I mean, if you, like I said, if you follow my socials, especially on Instagram, uh, TikTok, and Facebook, and I posted it up here on this YouTube channel, my daily updates. Just absolutely fantastic. If you did not see it, go out of your way to go to Peacock and watch the Hall of Fame ceremony. Listen or watch Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech. Um, it was censored quite a bit. But it was probably the best Hall of Fame speech ever, and I was so happy to be there live. All right. Um, all right, moving on. I do want to say thank you for everybody who participated and voted in the inaugural Soap Suds March Madness tournament. We do have a winner, and that winner is John Black from Days of Our Lives, Drake Hogiston, icon, legend in the genre, and
Yeah.
he beat Sophia Madison, who made it all the way to the finals. Sophia Madison from the Bay, obviously portrayed by the late great Jackie. Um, um, why is my head drawing a blank?
Jacqueline Zeman.
Yeah, Jacqueline Zeman. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I apologize.
Yes.
Brain fart. I've been up since 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, you can one day.
But either way, also, as always, do want to remind everybody we are um an official affiliate of the WWE Shop by Fanatics. Go over to sudsandsquarecircle.com/wrestling merch. Pick up your awesome WWE merchandise, especially the CM Punk shirt. Hell froze over. You won't be spending nearly as much as I did in Philadelphia on WWE merchandise. But every little bit does help, and we do get a commission off of that. So go buy your stuff. All right. So, as we said, big congratulations to John Black for winning the Soap Suds March Madness. Just an absolute fantastic. Again, it was fun. We're going to do it again next year. We'll update the character pool based on who's currently on at that time. Also, we are starting the process for the Sudsy Awards. Um, Coming up in July. I haven't actually put a date down yet of when the show will be released, but we do have some more presenters. The podcast known as Chair Shot Sports is going to be a presenter for the Sudsies this year, along with Max Updates GH 10th Floor podcast be helping as also, in addition, Christy and Kim will be Christy here and Kim from Dockside of the Bay will be presenters. Lucretia Lyon from formerly of after JLJ Media's one of their shows. I believe she used to be on the GH Mini Spotlight. She is going to be a presenter this year. Amanda Russ from Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight and YR Mini Spotlight. And the Bold and Beautiful podcast that she runs. She's going to be a presenter this year, and I'm working on some other. Oh yeah, and if you are a fan of Jim Cornette's podcast, whether it's the Drive Through or the Experience, Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi, is going to be a presenter this year for the Sudsies. He has his own following, thanks to Jim Cornette, big wrestling fan himself, and he's going to be a presenter This year we are going to be splitting up the categories between wrestling and soap operas. They're not going to be in the same categories like they were last year. And instead of doing Twix polls, because that turned out to be a giant mess and clusterfuck, it's going to be on a Google form document that'll be put out in May. So you'll have 2 months to vote. The timeline, the time of eligibility is basically going to be from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. That's how it's going to be going on. So from between WrestleMania 39 to WrestleMania 40, that is where all of the action is going to take place and what goes on and happens. Angela Ryan Duncan as well is who's co-hosted this show a couple of times, and she is Professor Angela on 10th Floor's Days for Dummies. She's also going to be a presenter of the Suds Awards as well. All right, so let's get to it. We got a lot to talk about, and we don't want to be on here for 3 hours. This is not the Jim Cornette experience, so I don't want it to be a 3-hour podcast. And I'm tired, so we're going to get through this as quick as possible, and we know it's late. We want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, get notified, and buy our merch at sudssquarecircle.threadless.com. Anyways, moving on to General Hospital. Quite a bit has been going on. It's been absolutely can't miss TV ever since the new writers took over.
Yeah, you know what? I've noticed that too. Like at first I wasn't sure, but it has really been kicked up quite a few notches. They're not missing beats anymore in the story. They are making it action packed. They're making it way more like there's way less filler episodes. There was a lot of filler episodes before, and now there's more like, ooh, something might actually happen today that I might actually want to be home for, and I might want to watch, and I might want to sacrifice my lunch hour from 1 to 2 and watch all of GH. So I don't always end up being able to watch during my lunch hour, but I try to at least on a day when I know like something's going to happen. Like 2 weeks ago when we had Jason Elizabeth scenes, like I definitely wanted to be there to like watch those. So I actually I think I was at my parents' house when that happened. So I was watching from like my kitchen table with my mom, and she doesn't really watch GH anymore, but she used to in the Luke and Laura days and put me down for a nap, which is why I think General Hospital's theme song, like the old one, has like this like soothing, I remember that, even though I was falling asleep to it as like a 4-year-old. I remember that. Yeah, good times. So
yeah, no, fantastic episodes. Unfortunately, they did preempt it on last Monday because of the eclipse. Why they had to do that, I don't know. I don't like if you wanted to watch it, you go outside and watch it. You don't have to watch it.
Well, we got no eclipse here in New Orleans because it was so cloudy, so there was like nothing to see. But I saw pictures from other places that got it. So good for you guys.
Also, the Eastern Seaboard had an earthquake on Saturday. I'm sorry, it was last Friday, April 5th, that the East Coast had an earthquake that was centered in New Jersey. I was in Philadelphia, which is right, an hour away from whatever the epicenter was, and I didn't even feel it. But people in Connecticut, my sister texted me, said, "Hey, did you feel that earthquake?" Amazingly, just a lot of stuff happening in such a short period of time. And then Monday, what was it, the 8th, there was the eclipse. I still don't understand why they had to preempt GH because of it. Just, again, if you want to watch it, watch the Weather Channel, watch the CNN, something, whatever. It didn't have to be on ABC. I got some heat from people on Facebook for saying it was a BS reason for preempting GH, but whatever. It is what it is. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But like I said, we haven't been on for a couple of weeks because last week was WrestleMania week, so we did not record at all. So we do have a lot of stuff to go over. Let's just start. Just jump right in, and the biggest thing that people are talking about now is the Drew and Nina hate sex
Oh
um,
my God, yeah.
hookup.
They really did do it, right? Like I thought they didn't do it. I think I caught bits and
Yeah,
pieces. So
I thought it was kind of weird because when they left
it was
off on
weird the way
Monday,
they edited it.
yeah, the way they edited it made it seem like Nina put a stop to it and said, "What are you doing? You know, you can't just come in here with your shirt off," or whatever the case was. But then you see her picking up her clothes and her shoes, and they apparently they alluded to the fact that they hooked up on the floor um, in
This is so
Drew's
stupid.
office, and
Yeah.
like the I don't know whether people are just mad at the pairing and the hookup because it's hate sex, or they're just they don't like the characters. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I like this new edgier Drew. Um, Nina's been
Right.
getting on my
He's
nerves
more
more than
exciting
ever.
this way. He's definitely more exciting to watch this way.
He absolutely is. And Nina's getting more and more on my nerves. There was no reason for
Yeah.
her to there was no reason for her to run directly to Drew to say, "Oh, I found Carly in John's hotel room, the FBI agent."
She's a big gossip. She's a big gossip. She
And
just
she's
likes causing trouble and
and
stirring up
that's
shit.
it, exactly. And she's just doing it to get under Carly's skin or under Drew's skin or under somebody's skin. Just you could actually look at it and be like, she's trying to say that not that nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own problems. So why is everybody hating on her for what she's done? The problem is,
Right.
go on.
No, I was gonna say I think she's secretly like insecure and is not fulfilled in her own life right now, that she
Yeah.
has to stir the pot in other people's lives because she's like, oh, nobody likes me anymore. I don't have Sunny. What am I going to do with myself?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
And Sonny served her the divorce papers. She still hasn't signed them yet.
She
Um,
won't. She won't until she confronts Sunny herself about it. That's what I
and
think.
Diane, I love how Diane went up to her and said, "Do you want to, sell your, client of mine wants to buy your half of the Metro Court?" And Jason coming in, um, Jason coming in now, and he wants to buy the Metro Court for Carly. We've seen numerous people, and Diane said it. Numerous people have
She
said they
did.
were. Even Nina herself went to Carly and said, "Here, have it, take it." And she said no, she wanted to keep with Bobby's. You know, so I'm not sure if are they gonna do it? Are they gonna let Carly be like, "Yeah, Jason, you could buy it for me, or I'll accept it from you and you alone"? That just seems kind of hypocritical.
I don't know. I think they need to have Carly make a decision whether she's really over doing the Metro Court and
Yep.
managing the Metro Court and has let that go and has moved on, or whether or not she's going to try to manage both places
Yep.
or just one over the other. I mean, because there's that connection with her mom to Kelly's, which is
Bobby.
now
Yep.
Bobby's, I
Yep.
think it would just make more sense for her to just stay where she's at now and not go backwards. Not that she can't be friends with Olivia, because I'm sure she'll still be friends with Olivia, regardless of whether or not she's working at the Metro Court.
Yeah.
So at this point, I think, you know, she should probably just stay where she's at. I'm actually fine with her managing
I
Kelly's
am
slash
too.
Bobby's. Like that's totally fine with me.
I,
I don't
I
mind it at all.
Yeah,
So
and I'm happy with it because it kind of keeps Bobby's at the forefront of a story because Carly is obviously one of the top showrunner,
many top
top people
actors on
actors on the
every
show,
every day. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to it was being run by Sean Butler, it was being run by Bobby, it was being run by Mike. It was always being run by a secondary character. Now it's, yeah, there's a new manager there now, but or there's
She
going
owns
to
it.
be. Well, yeah, Carly owns it, and she's there most of the time, her and Jocelyn, and so it
Right.
keeps it at the forefront. And now Jason is renting out a room upstairs. Amazingly, in both shows that he's on, he's living in a room above a pub or a restaurant.
That's such a soap opera thing. It really is.
Well, because Jason Morgan is up on, on over Bobby's, and Harris Michaels, who's still on Days of Our Lives, is living up above the Brady pub. So
That's so funny.
it's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Uh,
And I'm
yeah.
going to tell you my hunch with Jason coming back since we're on this subject.
Yep.
I honestly think, as much as I would love for Jason and Elizabeth to have more interaction, and there's so many fans that are still like holding out hope that they're going to get back together like romantically. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's going to happen, because even other fans told me this. Like, if you looked at the anniversary special where he walked through the door, there was two women on, one woman on either side. It was Carly and it was Sam.
Yep. Yep.
So that basically was an indicator that he'd probably mostly be interacting with Carly and Sam in his return, right? So
Yeah.
that's basically what we've seen. So I'm counting on another liaison scene in another probably 3 to 6 months, because that's the norm for GH. I don't really expect that to change. Now, if it does change and they do, for some whatever bizarre, like they do decide to like put liaison back together, I will be screaming it from the rooftops. Everyone in the neighborhood will hear me when I watch GH. But until that day, I think he's mainly going to be interacting with Carly. I think his strongest connection is with Carly. I talked to my co-host from Liaison Radio today, Celia, and I said, look, girl, like, I love Liaison, but like, I think he's going to get with Carly. Like, I honestly think they're going to have it go in that direction. That's just my
And
guess.
Chad seems to agree with you with a couple things. He said he was just about to say the same about Nina. Nina is very insecure and needy for approval from Willow. And then if she, I assume it's Carly, pronouns pal. If she takes the MetroCorps back, I feel like Carly would still manage it, but she'd leave the day to day to Joss, and we just see her run the MetroCorps. It's definitely a possibility.
Sure.
But no, I want to say that I think, or I would like to see Jason and Elizabeth interact more now, especially with the fact that Jake is so like dead set against Jason,
Yes. Yes.
because of everything, and kind of have him work through this relationship with his son, with obviously Elizabeth being there, because Jason does have to, um, Jason does have to, um, make up for lost times with both of his kids. Like
Yes.
we saw the interaction with Danny, where Danny found him in a boathouse at the Portamains, and Jason asked him to get first aid for first aid kit. He gets Willow, yada yada yada. But then he said, "Don't tell your mother that I'm here," which was a big ass no no, and Sam called him out on it.
Oh, I'm
Um,
glad she did too.
I am
I'm glad
too.
she did.
I
Good for
I
her. Good
am
for her.
too. But Sam also told Danny, "You'll never have to see your father again," and that was like a big slap in the face of Danny, who wants to be like his father and wants to spend time with him. That's why he snuck out of the house to go to the court hearing. Um,
He's
you
probably
know,
going to continue to sneak out to see his
yes.
dad too. So,
And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Jason has to kind of sit with both of his sons. And that's not including those people who think that Dex is Jason's son. We don't know that for a fact,
we
but
haven't passed that. We haven't gone to that bridge yet. We'll get
right.
there.
But with Danny and Jake, that he's got to sit with them and kind of just be honest as he can be with them about his lifestyle, about stuff, everything that he's gone through, since the time he was gone. Now everybody does know that he didn't shoot Dante, and we know that, but Jake still doesn't like the fact that his father is a hired gun, so to speak. Jake doesn't like guns. Jake doesn't, he I don't know for sure exactly what's going through Jake's mind, other than the fact that his father wasn't there for 2 years and everybody thought he was dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, he should be talking and having conversations with both of his sons, especially. I really think the whole liaison love child, Jake, has been pretty much kind of forgotten about and swept under the rug for so many years. Like, oh yeah, whatever, that
All of
relationship.
Elizabeth's kids have been
Like
swept
that
under the
matters.
rug,
Yeah, I don't know why they get
except
the
for Cameron.
shack. I don't get it. I don't get why her kids are just like an afterthought. I don't get it. I don't like it. But it is the way it is. Like I don't write the show. I haven't visited the writers' room. If I did, I believe me, I'd have some notes. So this is the thing. He does need to have a conversation with Jake. They do need to talk it out, and Liz does need to be there, and he should be visiting that house on a regular
Yes.
basis to get to know Liz and her kids, because that would make sense considering the history of Jason and Elizabeth, regardless of whether or not they ever go back to that romantic relationship where they get back together as a couple. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because I'm a realist. I love being a liaison fan. Believe me, I want them back together. I still have people commenting on my liaison videos on YouTube, like 2024, Jason Elizabeth. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I wouldn't mind. I want to see Jason with somebody new, like in terms of romantically. That's why I really like Jason and Britt, because it was somebody different, right? You know, they went to the well so many times with Jason and Carly, and then Jason and Sam, and they had a flash in a pan with Jason and Elizabeth. The only other time besides when Jake was conceived was when Elizabeth was with Drew, who was pretending to be Jason because he had his memories when Billy Miller first got cast in the role as Jason. Um, but I almost want to see him with somebody new, somebody who's not on, whether it's not on canvas now or somebody completely different. How about Jason and Jordan? Or we did see some possible sparks with Drew and Jordan. Um, but bring somebody else back. Somebody that's not current, that Jason hasn't already slept with.
I don't
They're
think that's
already
going
out
to
there,
happen,
but
man. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to get with Carly. I think honestly, I think they're going there. I think they're setting it up for that.
I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
think they've been chem testing her with this Jagger guy, which is really interesting. I don't know why they did that, but I think they're chem testing her with him, for sure. I don't think I want that to go anywhere because I think he's also been chem tested with Anna already and
Yeah.
others. So I don't know what they're doing that. But I think I think him and Carly are gonna get close again and maybe something will happen. I think it's a possibility. I think it's a definite possibility. I don't see them bringing someone new right now on for
Right.
Jason. I think they're still establishing whatever storyline they've already written for his
Yep.
character. I think it would make more sense for him to start interacting more on a regular basis with Elizabeth and her kids. Obviously, will I get that? I'm not holding my breath, but it would be great if they did. I would love for the writers to surprise me and go, "Hey, we actually really do care about liaison history this time around. So let's honor that. Let's share that. Let's talk about it." You
So
know?
Chad chimes in. He said, realistically, as much as I love them in the past, the focus right now is on Carly. I don't see them
Yes.
together again. I feel there's going to be a triangle with Jason, Carly, and John. That's a possibility. Um,
True.
and I, I, I also don't feel that they're going to go Jason and Carly together. I mean, there's always going to be that connection, and Carly's always going to be his best friend, and vice versa. But I really don't feel like they're going to be together. Again, I think that there's going to be first of all, Jason doesn't need a love interest at this point. He needs to focus
No,
on
they're establishing
reestablishing
other
his,
things. Yeah.
yeah, he's got to start reestablishing his relationship with his kids, really reestablishing his relationships around town, and whatever Rico violations are hanging over Carly's head that he's, trying to help bring down Pikeman.
Right. Right.
So he's got to do what he's got to do. But
Right. I'm just happy they didn't kill off Dante, because for a second I had the worst thought they were going to kill off Dante to go with J Sam again for like the third or fourth time, whatever round that would be, because I was just like, please don't go for the easy way
no,
out.
because I like Dante and Sam together. I know a lot of people were weirded out at first because they share two siblings, in Leo and Christina, but there's no blood between them, so there's really nothing that
No, it's
is
fine.
wrong with
It's
it.
really cool. No, I'm excited for them, whatever future it is for them. I'm really glad that he is on the mend and everything. So
I really like how Dante is kind of co-parenting with Sam in terms of, with Danny, and how, Dante's like, I don't know if it's my place to say, but it probably isn't the right thing for you to ban him from seeing his father, because and Dante knew what it's like because Olivia held him from Sonny all those years. So
right.
I really like how Dante's approaching it, how the writers are approaching this, nuclear family dynamic between Dante, Sam, and then their kids, because I really like, how they
Yeah.
interact.
Oh yeah. 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 No, it's good. No, I'm glad they're writing it like that. And I'm glad Dante is like, look, no, it may not be my place, but this is what I think. And he should be bringing it up, because they've been in a relationship for what, like is it 2 years? I
Dante and Sam, yeah, I mean, it's
Yes,
been like a full year in a relationship, but they were like
at least a
flirting
year.
for quite a while before that.
At least a year.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, and even Olivia asked, well, do you guys, see yourselves getting married down the road? And she's like, no, not yet. And that was good. They had that conversation, because I do
yeah,
see them maybe going down that road in the future. So we'll see. A lot of people think like if Lulu came back, then it would,
I hope
throw
not.
Dante for a loop. But
I
we
hope
haven't
not.
even
Yeah.
gotten to that point.
And as of right now, there are no plans to bring Lulu back. Um, so here's the deal. I did piss some people off on Twix a
Of
couple of weeks
course, because
ago.
that's where you piss people
I,
off. Where else
exactly.
would you do it?
Exactly. Well, um, but see, so there are still the people that are on the full Sprina bandwagon. So
Oh, I know there are.
in the last
There's
episode,
ride or die Sabrinas. Let's go. Let's talk
well,
about it.
in the last episode that we had on this podcast, when Angela sat in for you, um,
I listened. I
you
listened.
know,
Yeah.
we everybody was up in arms because Nicholas Alexander Chavez's name was taken off the credits, meaning he's no longer on contract.
Yes. And his bio was taken off the website or something. I read
And
he was one
he
of the few.
he erased every little bit of information off of his Twix page regarding General Hospital. He unfollowed numerous cast members, including Frank Valentini and the show itself,
Oh
and
my.
Tabiana Ali and
Oh
everybody.
wow.
Um, and apparently, from according to what Angela had said last show a couple of weeks ago, is that he's not coming back. When he left in December to go film that Netflix special, he basically cleared out his dressing room, said his goodbyes, and left. And honestly,
Wow.
he's not even welcome back. Like, they didn't even
Wow.
want to renew his contract or talk about renewing his contract.
Wow. That was news to me. When she said that, I was sitting there at my desk at work and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was a little shocked, because that was the first I had
I
heard about it. I don't know if that news had come out recently and I just missed it, but
I don't know
um
either, but I did,
yeah.
let the people on Twix know that, that he's not coming back, and they were up in arms because, God forbid, they need to know the contract status.
No, they
You know,
were. I
they
saw
need
a
to
little
know,
bit of what happened. They
they
were up
have
in
to,
arms, and then there
they
was
have,
this whole thing about who should Trina be with now? Should she be with
yeah.
a black guy and like a white
Oh,
versus
yes.
a white guy? Like this whole racism thing. I was just like, oh Lord, I'm so glad I'm not on Twix right now.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
And to be
It's
completely
too much.
honest with you, Sprina wasn't even the best interracial couple on soaps. I have to give that to Johnny and Chanel from Days.
They are pretty hot. I will give it
No,
to them.
I'm sorry, but I
Yeah,
think
they're
that's the
pretty
best
hot.
interracial couples right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot more interracial couples other than them that have, I think, had more popularity in terms of the soap opera genre.
Yep.
I mean, look, Sabrina had a lot of potential. I'm really sorry that it ended the way it did, considering that it sounds like Nicolas Chavez isn't coming back. So unless they decide to recast Spencer and bring him back, I
Yep.
don't see Sabrina coming back and like moving forward in that respect. They would literally have to recast now
Yeah,
if
they
he's
have to.
really just going off and doing his own thing and doing bigger and better things than GH, which is fine. I mean, all that's what a lot of soap actors end up doing
Yep.
when they've had their they feel like they've fulfilled any sort of goal they had in mind. If they get their soap opera acting training in,
Yep.
and which is really good because you really learn how to do a lot of pages in a short amount of time, and it's really good.
Oh yeah.
Like boot camp, acting for actors. So it's good for that. But I mean, some of the actors come in, they pass through, and they decide that they want to do bigger and better things, and that's their right. So,
And
I wish Nicolas Chavez the best. He's a nice guy. I met him in Chicago last year with Tabiana. So, I mean, I wish him the best. But I will be writing to Tabiana and telling her about my stories at Target eventually. I meant to do that. I told her about it last year. So,
he's a tremendous actor, Nicolas Chavez. So we knew from the very beginning that he was not long for GH. So I don't understand how Spring got so popular, because Nathan chimed in saying that Nicolas Chavez didn't want to be there anymore in that toxic workplace behind the scenes in GH. He doesn't blame NAC.
I'm not there at the workplace, so if they're at the GH workplace, I can't comment.
To move forward with bigger and better things, like we said. And honestly, he's a tremendous talent. And not everybody wants to stay in soaps, for their entire careers. Look at there was just briefly a Twix exchange between Nicholas Bechdel, ironically the other Spencer, and Ryan Pavey, who played Nathan, and how they basically don't go on Twix anymore because it's so toxic, because even their quote unquote fans are trying to pester them to get back onto GH, or or spreading rumors, or just pestering them in general, and it just they don't go on.
No, I totally respect that, because I'm at the point where even I'm really just checking for messages like in mentions, and occasionally like I get a few little notifications from our friends like 10th Floor and the Edition Days and a few select people I follow just to get their updates. Other than that, I'm not scrolling. I'm not looking for drama to partake in on X. I'm not doing that for my own mental health reasons, because I've gone through too many like trials and tribulations with X to keep going down that road. I've got enough other things that are going on that are bad for my mental health that I don't need to add X to that personally. And I've unfortunately, like, I've had friends that I made on X that are no longer my friends, because I've learned that they were probably problematic people that I didn't see at first. But thankfully I'm glad that I'm not on X, because there's just too much problematic people, too much people trying to stir the pot and do this and that. And it's sad because I know Becky's not on it. I know Laura Wright herself took a break from it for a while. I know even Sam,
Kelly Monaco,
she's not on it. Like, there's so many actors that we love that are not on it because they literally, the fans, not all fans, some fans have made it a toxic place for people to be in, and not fun place to be anymore. And that's really sad, because it kind of is taken away a lot of positive interaction that we could have had with the actors on X, because there's other fans that have just made it like that kind of environment. So now, thankfully, we can follow them on a lot of them on Instagram, where I feel like it's a lot more positive environment on
Yeah.
Instagram. I don't usually see a whole lot of hate going on Instagram on that platform. There probably is some, but I don't see a whole lot of hate. Facebook now is kind of a mixed bag. I think
Yeah.
it's you could have some negativity, you could have some positivity. It's just kind of a mixed bag, I guess. But it's sad. It's really sad because X became that platform that like was such an easy thing for me to just tweet out my opinion. And
Yeah.
now I get like raked over the coals for my opinion, or putting out a tweet out of frustration. I get raked over the coals. So I don't even bother anymore because I'm just like, I don't need it. For
Yeah.
my mental health reasons. I don't need it.
No, you're absolutely right. And it sucks. It really does. And there's been a lot of wrestlers that deactivated their Twitch accounts as well because of the same thing. Wrestling Twitter and soap Twitter are very similar in the fact that they are very, very toxic. On the soap Twitter, you have, people who are so diehard fandom about one person or another or a couple. On wrestling Twitter, it's AEW for WWE or other kinds of, wrestling out there. So um not everybody is like that. You have to kind of pick and choose who you follow or interact with,
Yeah.
because that's what it boils down to is
Yep.
the interactions. And there are some people who are just miserable. Some people who are, like there's so many people that somebody posted, what could General Hospital do to get better, the writing or the acting? And I'm like, the fans. That's where to go. Are you
The
watching the same?
fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
watching what I'm watching? Because it's been can't miss recently. The writing has been so much better with, Corte and Mulcahy at the helm.
I honestly, I think a lot of people are on Twix just to like stir up
Yep.
drama or
Agreed.
just to complain and be negative, and
Yep.
that's why it's the most toxic and negative place. And I've told that to so many of my friends. I have a friend in the Austin Butler fandom, and I love her, and she's so sensitive to like everything, and she's honestly just looking for friends. And I'm like, honey, Twitter is not, or
Not
X
the
is not,
place. No.
not the place to make friends. It's honestly not. You're gonna find very few people that are actually genuinely kind
Yep.
individuals. Like there, it's very rare to find on Twix now. Like you'd better off finding that on like Facebook and Instagram. And even then you have to be very careful about your friends,
I
because
mean,
I've had it happen
MySpace
on
had the
Instagram where I thought people were my friends and then it blew up in my face. So
yep.
social media is kind of this monster that you kind of have to decide what's good for you and what's not good for you, and just cut it out. You either cut out like all of social media and you're not on it at all, or you
Yep.
just have to decide, pick and choose how much time you spend on it and where you're going to spend your time.
Exactly. You're exactly right. All right, we have to move on because we're already 45 minutes in. We barely talked about anything to the General Hospital. Um, so all right, so we're going to kind of have to pick and choose what we talk about, because there is so much to go over. How about the scenes with Sonny and Jason at the coffee shop, at the coffee warehouse? How Sonny's like, "You're not working for me. I can't trust you," and Jason's
Mm,
like, "I own half of this coffee shop, coffee warehouse, the coffee business. I own half of it."
right. He's like, I'm
And
going to
I'm
have
like,
my office here, whether you like it or not. So I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
and here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't understand. Like, everybody knows that Sonny's on his bipolar pills, right? Because of his bipolar.
Oh yeah.
And
Hmm.
as soon as, first off, hold on one second. Excuse me, one second.
Ooh, bless you.
Thank you. Um, but excuse me for that. But either way, here's my thing. As soon as Valentine and Jack Brennan are, talking about Valentine is set to change his pills, Sonny's bipolar medication. Um, then we see Ava take a pill of his to go to sleep, and she recognizes it as not a not something that would put her to sleep. Why you would take somebody else's prescription pills, anyways, is beyond me. But whatever, it is what it is. And then Jason asks him, "Are you on your meds? Have you taken your pills?" So it's like that's the only thing that kind of is out of character. Has Jason ever asked Sonny, have you taken your pills, taken your meds before? Um,
Mm,
you know what I mean? I mean, granted, they were best friends. Jason knows his ticks, his mannerisms and stuff. He knows when he's not on his pills or what have you. So I could understand it that way. But you haven't seen the guy in 2 years, and you know he has a right not to trust him. To be honest with you, you know. But at the same time, Sonny is cutting himself off from everybody except for Ava. And you know, Jason, I guess Jason recognizes that.
mm. Yeah. I'm thinking Sonny and Jason are not going to be friends this time around. They apparently are going to be enemies, which is fine with me. That makes it a lot more interesting of a dynamic to see this happen and to see Jason be like, no, I still don't have this business, but I want the legitimate side. You can do whatever illegitimate activities you're going to do on your side, but
Yeah,
I'm going to be legitimate and run this business like legally, which I think he has to because of who he's
yeah,
been an informant for, right?
yep,
So he's informant for the FBI. So he can't do anything illegal anyway. So I that's going to be a point of contention between him and Sonny for a while, and I kind of like look forward to seeing this play out. And I kind of like that he was like,
yeah,
"And taking your meds," which actually reminded me of who's going to be decreasing the strength in his meds. Right?
yeah,
Somebody's behind that now.
yeah.
We know
That's Valentine, and
Valentine.
Valentine was the one that made the contact to the pharmacy to lower
Right.
the dosage. Um, so I mean, we'll see how that plays out. I don't
Right.
know. Maurice Bernard is fantastic when it comes to those bipolar stories. And it's fantastic when it comes to playing stuff like that. Um, so all right, how about something that's really been fantastic over the past number of weeks? Tracy. Tracy has softened up a lot. Um, and she's kind of turning into Lila. Um, I mean, from what I've heard about Lila, she's less like, her father. Um, uh, why can't I think of the name? Good Lord. Edward. And she's more like Lila now. She's kind of softened up. She's giving advice to Brooklyn regarding her wedding. She's giving advice to people. She's been, spending a lot of time with Gregory, who she obviously cares about. She's
Yeah.
been warming up to Cody, and she's been riding. She had that fantastic scene with Stella a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that friendship is one that I'm really there for is Stella and Tracy. Um,
Oh my gosh, yes. I was so thrilled and like excited to see Tracy have like a friend. I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense for her to be friends with Stella because Stella's a little bit of a spitfire in ways too.
yeah,
So it's nice to see that Tracy have a friend that she can confide in. And I actually really like that because Tracy's becoming more of a nicer person
yeah.
due to Gregory's influence. So
She's
I'm
becoming more like Lila and less like Edward.
yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
And I like the friendship, the dynamic between Stella and Tracy because it's kind of like opposites attract, and I'm not talking about race here. I'm talking about the fact that Tracy came from money. She's got money, she's got riches. Stella doesn't. She didn't come from that kind of background. And I think that that friendship kind of grounds Tracy to look at things outside of just finances and outside of just her own opinion. And it came to fruition on Friday when she had the fantastic um conversation with Brooklyn. How, Brooklyn wanted to buy Chase the truck because Chase, sold his truck in order to pay for their honeymoon. And Tracy's like, no, don't. She's like, and Brooklyn's like, well, we have money. And Tracy's like, no, you have money, not
Right.
you as a couple.
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I was wondering this. Like, so let's pause for a second, because when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to pay for the honeymoon," and I was like, "Wait a minute, how? You were a homeless bum for like a year. Like, how are you paying for this?" And this is a one of my old friends, Brittany, like used to call him a homeless bum. So I kind of like the terminology, because he was basically a homeless bum for like a year. Like, he didn't really have money coming in, and or an unemployed bum, I should say. I don't know. He definitely had a place to live, but he was an unemployed bum for like a year. So it was like, dude, how are you going to pay for like a honeymoon or any part of the wedding? Because he just started going back to work, what, a few months
Yeah, a
ago?
few months. Well, I mean,
Few
he
months
was
ago.
singing, so he was bringing money in.
He was bringing some money, but we don't really know
We don't know
any.
the
We
specifics.
don't know the dollar amount. We don't
Right.
we don't really know. I'm sure it couldn't have been nearly as much money as he was making. I'm guessing that he may have had some kind of unemployment coming in, maybe. But even if you file for unemployment, that's not going to be like the entire sum of money that you would regularly be making. That's
Right.
about what, half? I don't know. It depends on each state, I think. So it's plus it's a soap opera world, so you don't
Yeah.
know. The whole money is like an X value. We really don't. We really don't know. But I'm thinking that he doesn't nearly make as much money as like Brooklyn does.
Right.
Right.
No,
So I
not
think
at
we
all.
can, I think
Well,
it's an
Brooklyn
easy
also
assessment.
has family money. So,
Family money. Right.
she's got the income from deception. She's got the income from ELQ. She got the income from her music business. So Brooklyn has financial streams up the wazoo. She is,
Right.
generationally rich, whereas Chase is not. And, you could
I
tell
will.
that
Yeah.
you could tell that, his dad, is well off. Like, they have money. They're not,
We're not
broke,
destitute. Yeah.
but it's not the same type of lifestyle. And Tracy pointed out that Chase is very old school. He's very traditional. He
Yeah.
doesn't want, they already balked at the prenup, right? And
He
Chase,
doesn't want to be a trophy husband, we'll put it that way.
right, exactly,
So in that respect.
right,
So that's why he was like, "Let me take care of the honeymoon and you can take care of the wedding. That's
yeah,
fine." And I think that's a good compromise. I think that's a good thing to do and to make. And I love that he's bringing her to Italy, because that's actually a liaison thing. Liaison was supposed to go to Venice because the light in Venice is different than anywhere else, and that's where I had to get my piece of red glass when I went there, and drove my dad absolutely insane by going to plenty of glass shops trying to find a piece of red glass, which I still have on a little string, a little red string with a
going
little
to
heart
Italy is another
piece of red
bucket
glass.
list item for me, so I don't know if I'll ever make it there, but um
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So they're going to Florence, which isn't, I think it's like north of Venice or something if you look at the map. But it's still an Italy thing, which is something that Liaison and now Chaylin have in common. And I like that sometimes I find little parallels between my soap opera couples. So
well,
I
Johnny
just
and Chanel are going to Italy as well for their honeymoon when they can afford it, on days. So their first wedding was actually in Italy.
wait,
So I mean,
who on
Italy is
days?
what?
Who on days went to
Johnny
Italy?
and Chanel.
Okay. Okay. See, I
But
haven't really been following them, because last I was following, Johnny was still trying to decide between like Chanel and that newer girl.
Wendy,
I can't remember. Wendy.
Wendy.
Wendy. Yes,
But
which I love Wendy.
speaking of days, the new Gabby is set to come on relatively soon.
What? There's a new Gabby? They recasted Camila?
Yeah, they recast Gabby. She should be starting soon, especially now that Stefan is in prison.
Oh man, I'm sorry. There's only one Camila, so. Oh, that's gonna be hard. I didn't know that. I just went to the Stabby event with Brandon and Camila, and they didn't mention the recast.
So yeah,
we talked about it. I think it was rumored, but we didn't really talk about it with them, with the actors. Okay, wow, interesting.
But I mean, as of right now, both characters are in prison. So
they both are in prison now. Okay, because the last I checked, he was messing around with
Ava.
Whoever, what's her face?
Ava.
Yeah, Ava. It is Ava on there. Okay, it is Ava on Days as well as on GH. Okay.
But yeah, because Stefan was the one that shot Harris because of Clyde's influence, and EJ. I guess EJ found, or not that EJ found out, but Stefan went to EJ for help. EJ being the district attorney, and his own brother, and he tried to get him, to, send him somewhere that doesn't have extradition policies. But Harris actually told Steffens that I know you're the one that shot me, so you need to go to prison now. And it was some strange reason. I don't remember the entire backstory. I'm a week behind on Days myself, so I'm trying to work through it. But yeah, that's basically where Days is right now. But
okay.
they did.
Well, we should probably go back to GH. Sorry about that pivot, y'all. Sorry, I just was like, what?
I mean, we're Suds News, so we can talk about whatever Suds there are.
Technically, we can. We do end up talking about Days, because I did used to watch Days. I just can't handle watching more than one soap. Sometimes I'm behind on GH, as you know, I've been several times, and I always seem to have to try to catch up a little bit every week for this podcast. So I can't do two soaps. It's just
and then tomorrow night 10 p.m. Is going to be Dockside at the Bay right here, where Kim and I will be going over episodes 3 and 4 of the Bay. The actual series. It's not that it's on season 1, episode 3 and 4. That's on Peacock, Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, Popstar, and so on and so forth. Definitely. I mean, if you have time, check it out. Obviously, I enjoy it very much so, and I'm happy that I'm going. That I'm doing this new podcast, and Dockside at the Bay will be going on to its own podcast feed. So if you listen to Dockside at the Bay on this feed, starting with this episode, it's going to have its own feed. I'm still working on the kinks on that. It's still going to be on the same YouTube channel, so you're still going to watch all the videos here, but the actual podcast will be on its own feed starting this week, and all of those episodes will be moved over there. But let's get back to GH, shall we? All right. So Curtis is walking again.
Praise the Lord, he's walking. So glad about that. So happy about that.
I am too.
So long. It took so long for that to come to fruition.
Yes, no, I'm happy that Curtis is walking again.
Is it like a year? Has it been like a year since he walked last? Like a year?
Yeah, it has. It's funny because I'm actually really surprised that more people with disabilities weren't getting on GH for having somebody who's completely capable of walking be in a wheelchair, paralyzed for a year. That's how sensitive people are nowadays. I'm kind of surprised that did not happen. But he is walking again. He had a good scene with Drew. I like that they're kind of redeveloping or continuing that friendship. But he was kind of taken aback when Drew told him that he broke up with Carly because he knew that Jason would come first. Which again is a BS move on Drew's part, but knowing full well that Jason always comes first to him or to her is like, okay, well, you could have a male best friend. You know what I mean? Like it does happen. Um, and Nina is upset with Sunny because Carly always comes first to Sunny. So it's just one of those things that's a vicious cycle. Because it just is, unfortunately. Um,
Yes. Yes.
but all right, so let's see. That's not what I wanted to do. No, 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 no. All right, let's see. We've got okay. Um,
Well, let's mention something before you move on.
yeah,
Just Curtis was walking, so him and Portia are starting to get a little bow
yeah,
chicka bow wow in the bedroom. So happy for them. Just wanted to point that out.
yes,
Happy for them. I'm like, good. We're in a happy place rather than with all the fighting and the he can't walk and oh poor Curtis. Like, thank God we're past that.
yeah, exactly. I agree. Um, Josh and Dex broke up due to the fact that you know uh Dex is now becoming a cop, and it's like Jocelyn needs to make up her mind. Are you upset because he's working for Sonny?
Mm,
He went to go kill somebody under Sonny's orders, knowing full well that that's what Sonny does, or
yeah.
but now he's a cop, and you're still upset at the fact that he's a cop. Because he's got a target. Like this girl needs to make up her mind. Like, are you in? Or are you out? One or the other. You're either gonna be, upset with Sonny and have him going against trying to take down Sonny, or are you gonna have him move away because Sonny told him to get out of town? Like, what is the big deal? What
She needs to make up her mind for sure.
does seriously?
She has to decide whether or not, regardless of his career and who he decides to work for, if she's going to be with him or not, too. Because I obviously think there's still feelings there, as much as they're broken up and everything. They've got some really like intriguing and interesting physical chemistry that I don't think they can deny. So I think there is a potential for them to obviously get back together.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I think the problem right now is Jocelyn. Like she has to
of course.
decide and make a decision because I think he would definitely get back together with her. It's just
Oh,
a
of course
matter
he
of
would. Well, he stayed in
it's
Port
just a
Charles
matter of what
because of
she
her.
wants. Yeah.
He stayed in Port Charles because of her. So, now that
Yes.
he's a cop and on the good side of the law, she's still mad at him. It
I
makes no
I
sense at all. You got to make up
she's
her mind.
she definitely is into him. She just has to like get over whatever the hell he wants to do for work and has to respect the decision that he wants to work as a cop, which I think is a great thing that Anna kind of allowed him to like be like, all right, so even though you technically were like working as a criminal for Sunny, like we'll allow you to be a cop, which only happens on soaps people. This would
Yeah.
not happen in real life.
Well, I
Only
mean,
on soaps.
theoretically, he was never convicted of anything. So, he doesn't
Right.
have a felony conviction. So
Technically. Yes.
theoretically, he can become a cop.
Theoretically. Right.
No,
So
and he
I'm
does.
fine with that because I think he is fine. I think this man is fine. I obviously they have him on the show to be eye candy for the ladies. He has this great thing going with he did have this great thing going with Joss. And like I said, they have the most active sex life of anybody I've seen on General Hospital. So I mean, you got to keep the young hot couple on the show. I feel like so. I feel like eventually they'll probably get back together. It's just Joss is just being Joss right now and being like a problem. I guess I
Although
don't know if
I
you want
will
to call her a
say,
problem. Some people don't want to call her a problem because they're big Josh fans. So yeah.
I am really enjoying the feud between Jocelyn and Christina.
Oh yeah,
I was
the
waiting
family
for that
dynamic
to
there.
come down to a cat fight. And I mean, now granted, we know that Christina is pregnant with Molly's baby as a surrogate. So they can't really get into too much physicality for fear that she would lose the baby. But holy cow, I am loving that feud. Christina has like even the character of Christina has stopped being a bumbling buffoon and has become more of a shit disturber. Like I'm enjoying it. She is completely Team Nina, right? And and she's also completely team uh team against Jason. I think that's the way you want to, if that's the way you want to say it.
Hi, Jason.
He's against Jason because Sonny's against Jason. And
Yeah.
she was happy that Nina made her dad happy for a while. So she's Team Nina, and Joss is obviously Team Jason and team, against Sonny because Sonny had Dex try to kill Cyrus and this and that and the other thing. So, I'm really enjoying this feud. I really am. They're sort of siblings, but they're sort of not. Because obviously Carly and Sonny are divorced, so they're not step siblings anymore. They're both in they're the similar age group, although Christina's about 10, I think Christina's like 10 years older. But it's still a fantastic feud. I want to see more. I want to see more feud, and it just sucks that the character of Christina is pregnant, that you can't have an actual knockdown, drag out slobber knocker. Um, but
I mean, personally, I don't need to see a cat fight. If there is one, so be it. For drama's sake, let there be a cat fight. But yeah, there's a feud. It's a feud. So I'm not really. I've never really been a big Team Sunny thing. The only thing I am intrigued currently with the whole Sunny thing is the whole Sunny and Ava element of it all. To
yeah,
see where that goes, how far down the rabbit hole she's going to go with Sunny, because he's going to unravel and it is going to be crazy, insane
is
drama
she
with that.
secretly working for Pikeman?
Huh?
Is she secretly working for Pikeman?
Oh, well, see, that is a good question. She could be. She could be. It could add another element of surprise and everything if
Yeah.
she is working for Pikeman and secretly undercover, for Pikeman as being
She's the only
Sunny's
person
like
that
right hand woman, so to speak.
she's the only person that Sonny trusts right now. So, you
She
know,
is.
it's just one of those things where she has all the attention. Carly's not involved. Nina's not
No.
involved. Sonny's she's almost got Sonny wrapped around her finger. You know, is she about to either
Oh, she
A,
pretty much.
make a move to take over Sonny's organization herself, or is she, in bed with Pikeman and she's trying to,
Right, right.
I mean,
Yeah.
theoretically speaking, she went to take Sonny's meds to go to sleep and realized they weren't sleeping pills, realized they were more uppers than downers. And, she knows what they are, or whatever the case was. So, she was
What
surprised by
yeah.
that.
What are her true motives, really?
Right.
Like,
We
is
don't
she
know.
really being Sonny's friend and is just there to be Sonny's friend, which we know will be more? Or is she undercover for Pikeman, or does she want to just take over the business and be in the mob business again? Like, we don't really know yet, which is
So
interesting, and it's a
Pat,
kudos to the
Pat
writers.
chimes in saying that he believes that Ava was planted by Valentine, and it could be a long con, and it really could be, you know. Um,
Sure.
but we don't know.
We
Um,
don't know. Sure.
I
Yeah.
would like to see, I would like to see Nicholas come back out of prison. Adam Huss is still, he's still on recurring, but he's not on contract, so they can always bring him back at any time. I would love to see him come back and spoil uh Valentine's deal with Pikeman or whatever. Maybe he overheard something in prison, or maybe he made friends with Brennan and got some information that way. There are different story arcs to go that would bring Nicholas back into the fold. And Um, who knows? We saw Brennan for the first time in a while. Um, and I have to say, I love the interactions on Twix between the guy playing um, Brennan, Charles Measure, and the guy playing Jagger, Adam Harrington. They just go back and forth with quote posts and barbs and ribs and everything. It's just hilarious to watch if you're following both of those actors on Twix.
Yeah.
Um, all right, let's see. We're not going to go over every storyline that happened in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot to get through.
so I do have to ask, what the hell is going on with Sasha? Sasha and Cody,
Yeah.
it's like, again, they're not together. Sasha wants to take time, although Sasha has been at the stables all the time with Cody, helping, take
I
care of the horses.
yeah. Yeah.
So she quit Deception after Cody quit the Deception.
Yep.
So now she's not working. Clearly, what clearly her money is gone from uh uh Gladys and Sunny, and she said that she didn't want Sunny to reimburse her for anything. So she's like paid up at her apartment for through the month and doesn't know where she's gonna live. I fully believe that Cody's gonna ask her to move in with him at the stables. Their stable is nicer than my apartment, so I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
the horses have such a very posh stable that's fit for a king, and it's
Those horses have got like little like golden hay to poop in or something. I mean, what I don't I mean, it's amazing how nice those stables look, but they are at the Quartermain Mansion, right? It's
yeah,
Quartermain Mansion property. So it makes sense because the Quartermains have money. So my thing is I've been waiting every time I have Cody and Sasha on, and I'm like, are they gonna kiss today? Are they
yeah,
gonna kiss today? Is it gonna happen today? Are they finally gonna go there? And it seemed like they might have that one day they had like that big hug. And
yeah.
I thought, oh, something might happen. They might slowly look back at each other after the hug and it might happen. And no, it didn't happen. And I was like, oh, I mean, at this point, I think it's been well enough of a grieving period that
Yeah.
she could definitely move on at this point. I don't know why they're not pulling the trigger. Maybe they're waiting till May sweeps. They could be waiting till May sweeps. Maybe they're waiting to the Chaylin wedding for them to get together.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Um, Chad says I'm still waiting for Nick again, and what he may know. I heard the Brendan actor deleted his account. Well, guessing it's back up. I didn't hear that that Charles Measure deleted his Twix account. At least I thought I saw it like over the past week or so. So I don't know for sure. Um,
Mhm.
I have not watched Sasha's. Um, I have not watched today's episode of GH. I will be watching it tonight, or either tonight or tomorrow. So no, Chad did watch it. Um, so anyways, so yeah, there's a point where Sasha made shepherd's pie or rancher's pie or whatever it was for,
Yes.
because what was it? She went to make
Olivia. Olivia
yeah.
asked her to do
Well,
it.
Olivia asked her to make chicken parm, but the
Yeah.
chicken was bad, so she whipped up shepherd's pie instead, and she looked like, here's my biggest complaint about that scene is um Olivia's like, who made this, or what is this, and who made it, okay, and Sasha said, oh, it's a shepherd's pie, blah 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 blah. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, you didn't try it. It's still fully in the casserole dish. How would you know how good? Yeah, it looks good, but until you actually taste it. And
Yeah, yeah, it was a little strange, yeah.
my shepherd's pie is so much different than everybody else's shepherd's pie. But again, it's just I don't know. Olivia makes me laugh at times. With her I don't know about that, Nathan. Nathan said I've heard rumors of Marcus Coloma coming back to GH to play Nicholas. I hope he's improved on his acting, to say the least. I have not heard those rumors. I heard that Adam Huss is Nicholas when they bring him back. Maybe Marcus Coloma is coming back as a different character. Um, I didn't find necessarily anything wrong with his acting. It just I felt like his portrayal of Nicholas was just too dark. Too dark for Nicholas. Um, but I don't know. I haven't heard that. If those rumors are true, maybe I don't know. Maybe he's coming back to play somebody different. I don't know. Um, but we'll that remains to be seen, and we'll have to see how
Right.
that pans out. Um, all right, where were we? Um, I think we're gonna probably have to end with Brooklyn and Chase, or should I say um, Brooklyn and Lois and
Yeah.
their interaction regarding Brooklyn's dress. Apparently, they couldn't get Lila's dress to be taken in or fixed or whatever the case was that the um
Mm.
huh, okay, so Chad said, sorry, I had to go check. Yes, he cannot find Charles Measure's account. That's odd. Anyways, all right. So Brooklyn and Lois are having a wedding dress emergency. The whoever the dressmaker is, they can't take Lila's dress in. The fabric is too old and just won't work. Um, and apparently they find the dress. They use part of Lila's dress to make Brooklyn's new dress, and they have the fitting, and everything is all peachy keen. And then Brooklyn asks Lois
Mm.
about her dress, and Lois has on some kind of I think it was a pantsuit type of thing. Uh,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Well, it's not supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you." Which I think was actually fantastic. A good
Right.
motherly thing to say. Um, but then Brooklyn's like, well, that's just not you. What nails would you wear with that, anyways, or how would you do your nails, or
Right.
whatever
Because
the
that's the thing with Lois and her
right,
nails. Yeah.
exactly. But I don't know. I like those mother daughter scenes as we get closer to the Chase and Brooklyn wedding. I like a lot of the interaction with Gregory, with um Tracy, with obviously Chase and Brooklyn themselves. Um, and I really like all of that. I wish there would be more Ned, but I guess he's
Yeah.
busy doing stuff with Days.
Yeah.
Especially right now as they're setting up for the memorial, or they already filmed the memorial. I don't know about Doug or Bill Hayes's passing, who's Doug on the show. Um, but it could be that they're doing that right at this point, so he's not available for GH. But yeah, I hope that Wiley Kirk is there to, give Brooklyn away at their wedding, um, because I think he has to be. I think he almost has to be there. What would keep him away from his daughter's wedding? Um, let's see. I'm tired of Michael and Willow. I mean, they've gotten some spunk back, but not enough for me to care. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
kind of
still
feel
think
like that too.
I still think they're kind of
Mhm. Lame.
yeah,
They're the lamest, most boring couple on this show, and I liked them at first. They were kind of interesting when they first got together, but
yeah,
they even back then, I was waiting for them to, like, sneak around a little bit more behind the scenes to be together, and that wasn't really happening.
yeah.
So, they've gotten to
Um,
this point now where they're a staple couple, but they're so basic and vanilla that I'm like, "Eh."
yeah, I'm not sure why. But I still think they're in like a very hypocritical stage, and I think they're holding. I don't know. I think they're holding this grudge with Nina too harshly. Like she's still doing crap that is impulsive and everything. But at this point in time, I'm like, you know what? Let bygones be bygones, right? Drew is out of prison. Carly, is okay with her decision to be with to own Bobby's. Like, I don't know. I think that whole thing has to go somewhere because I'm just tired of it all. I'm tired of Michael still being upset at the mention of Nina's name and kind of getting, the boo boo face anytime Nina's mentioned or that Nina's in the room. I'm tired of just that whole thing. Just those three characters, I just need to go. I'm sorry. That's just
Right.
my opinion. I'm
I
just
have plenty of characters that I would still be fine if they weren't on GH and if they were
well,
acts. And I
one
think there's been rumors of a bunch of actors possibly leaving,
well,
so we'll
I've
see.
I've heard the rumor, and I talked to James Law Jr. about this that Michael Easton may be going, but that's not true. That is just a rumor. He doesn't even know how that got started.
Huh.
But they're actually aiming to get Finn and Liz as the Steve and Audrey, yeah, Steve and Audrey of the new generation. Um, so they're going to end up being a long term couple, um,
Mm,
Finn and Liz, which it is what it is.
really?
Michael is a
God.
great character. Um,
He's
and,
so bland, though.
well,
He's so
that's the character of
boring.
Finn. I agree. They should have brought
I
John Thane back when they had the
And the
opportunity.
thing is, they could make Liz a lot more spicy than she is. She used to be Lizzie Weber, okay? This is the girl that showed up on screen smoking a cigarette outside her grandma's house and dissing her sister, or I mean, being catty with her sister. So, like, come on. Like, we know there's a more spicy Elizabeth than is normally shown on screen, too. So,
Yeah,
I'm just not happy about Finn and Liz being a long-term pairing because I know she could do so much better. But this is what GH has given me, and I just have to deal with it. Now, I will take Finn and Liz over Franco and Liz any day because I did not like
and
Franco and
I'm the
Liz. I know
opposite.
you did. I was not a big Franco fan. So I would take Finn over Franco any day. But on the other hand, it's not the most exciting pairing on GH, like, at all. They're kind of up there with Michael and Willow for me in terms of being lame and boring and bland. So
Well, um, anywho, I think we're gonna probably go ahead and end the show. Take this in for a landing. Obviously, we didn't go over every single storyline. We did catch up on the major storylines um over the past 2 weeks. We'll be back next Monday to kind of go over more of what goes on this week. And this week will be a full 5 episode week because there's no eclipse. There's no nothing that'll take unless Joe Biden gets a hair up his ass sideways and needs to talk to the country. But that's another completely different thing. But anyways, before we go, as always, we're gonna go ahead and get ready for. We're gonna do our thankful minute as we always do to end the show. Um, Again, want to thank everybody for listening and watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified anytime something gets posted up here on the Suds and Sports Circle YouTube network. But as always, ladies first. Christy, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer and
sure.
go ahead with your thankful minute.
Let me see. Oh my gosh, what am I thankful for this past week? I'm thankful for naps. I'm thankful for let's see, friends. I'm thankful for rebuilding my accountability team for recovery. I have not really put recovery as a priority this past year because I have a Toastmasters and other things going on in my life, but I need to get my priorities straight. I have been told that once by a friend and another time in a sermon recently. So I'm like, all right, the Lord's trying to tell me something. I need to get my priorities straight. So I'm thankful for those messages. I hear them. I I I'm probably going to fail at doing it correctly, at doing it but I'm grateful for um my church and where I belong now. I'm grateful for my my bonus mom that I live with, who treated me to food for the movies over the weekend. I did the movies, she did the food. We brought the small sliders in the movie theater. It was so good. Small sliders, Metairie, Louisiana, just good stuff. Um, and it was a good weekend. I did Taylor Swift events. I'm grateful for those and the Swiftie community that I'm friends with. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up, I think, for my thankful minute.
All right. All right, my turn. Thank you for that, Christy. As always, it's always great to have a good, solid community of support or surrounding you, in general, not just for recovery or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
But all right. So my thankful minute. I'm thankful I got to go to WrestleMania. I did, and I'll share this after the thankful minute. But I'm very happy about being able to go to WrestleMania. I'm thankful for my church too, and it's when you attend church services in a different city that's part of your um denomination, I guess, or your church denomination, where you actually see the Lord's work. I went to church in Philly while I was down there, and it's the same, congregation as the one I go to here. And I saw some people that used to go to the church up in Hartford, that now make Philly their home, and you know, but I'm thankful for my job at Whole Foods. I'm very happy with it. I'm very thankful for just everything that's going on in wrestling. That's in a, WWE is in an upturn, and so is GH. So I'm just very happy with the style of entertainment. I'm thankful for that this is moving and growing. I want it to grow more. More shows, more audience, more interaction. Um, and then, so I will share this. So I did post a picture on Facebook regarding my seats for WrestleMania being at Lincoln Financial Center, a football field, football stadium. I was on the upper deck in the 200 area, and I'm very afraid of heights, so it was kind of nerve wracking to be up there, and I was like white knuckled for most of the time. I will say that I had a slight panic attack on night one, Saturday night at the end of the show, leaving because I didn't see the um, escalator going down. All I saw was the escalator coming up, and I irrationally thought that I was stuck up there. So I had a slight panic attack until I found the ramps to actually walk down. Um, it didn't take away from my enjoyment of WrestleMania. It's just something that, I have a fear of heights, and it is what it is. But
Right.
either way, um, I had a good time, and I will say that the Philadelphia, um, the Philadelphia area has the absolute best Chinese food. I will not order Connecticut Chinese food ever again because it was not good, and the prices were still pre-pandemic. So you can get a lunch special for 7 change as opposed to 10 change now up here. Um, I will say that the Wells Fargo Center and the Lincoln Financial Field have the absolute most expensive prices for concessions I've ever seen. I understand that you expect to pay more going to a sporting event, or whatever, an arena, but I'm sorry when you're charging $8 for a Coke Zero, a 20-ounce Coke Zero, $8. That's just highway robbery. I'm sorry. Um, but and $10 for a pretzel. Just insanity to me. But
Mm.
it's the experience you go for. But anyways, thank you guys for chatting, Nathan and Chad. Thank you for being in the chat room.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Again, we are officially an affiliate for WWE Shop, which is a Fanatics experience. And go ahead and go to sudsandsportcircle.com/wrestling merch. That has our affiliate code in or link in there. And we will get an 8% commission on anything you buy using that link. Help us out a little bit. Buy your WrestleMania 40 merch before it's gone. or anything else that you want on the website. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This will be up on the podcast feed tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here is Dockside at the Bay. Kim and I are going over season 1, episodes 3 and 4 of The Bay. And you can find that on Peacock, Tubi TV, Amazon Prime, Popstar, and yeah. So, Christy, thank you for joining me as always. For Christy, I'm Vinny. Thank you guys. So we'll see you next week right here. Suds News brought to you by